Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It's Golan and Meth Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Floyo, alongside Michael Bullock. And gentlemen, we are ready to go. Let's start off with Smackdown Live as we started off with a promo segment by Ronda Rousey. Uh, and look, it was a solid promo. Of course, it was interrupted by it was also interrupted uh, by Charlotte Flair. And, it was interesting. And then, of course, Sonya Deville got involved. So there was a lot going on in this. But I will say this. It probably will be really interesting to see how this plays out. I thought they did an okay job with the segment. Uh, Rousey actually was pretty authentic. It didn't feel scripted. It looked like they let her do what she wanted it to do, which is refreshing. That they let her, do it, and I thought it came out pretty well. So nothing more to say. Anthony Floyo, it's yours.
Yeah, solid way to start the show. Um, and of course, it was announced that next week, Ronda Rousey will have her, if I recall, I believe this will be her first match on SmackDown when she will go one-on-one with Sonya Deville. And it was also announced that earlier this week that the Charlotte Ronda SmackDown Women's title match at WrestleMania will be on what they're calling WrestleMania Saturday, the first night of WrestleMania 38, and I think we're all in agreement that that's going to be the main event. But I do have to give a little bit of some constructive criticism. I mean, Ronda didn't really sound confident talking about herself. I mean, she is the baddest woman on the planet in the ring, but struggles to sell herself on the mic. And I think that's why she needs a mouthpiece sooner rather than later. But the story seems to be that Charlotte will attempt to hurt Rousey before WrestleMania to save her SmackDown Women's Championship. It makes sense, but it's hardly a story big enough yet to main event night one of WrestleMania 38. But, it was an all right segment to start the show. I'm not going to say it was earth-shattering or anything. So that's really all there is to say on that. So, Michael Bullock, come on in, and Charlotte and Ronda, night one, very likely will be the main event. That was announced this week. And then from there, Ronda Rousey, Sonya Deville, one-on-one next week in Miami.
Yeah, I thought this was an all right segment. I mean, and yeah, I'm not surprised that that they were going to main event at some point during one of the nights of WrestleMania, and it'll be night one. So, and then yeah, I mean, it was an okay segment. I thought Ronda did okay. I mean, even though she does need some work on the mic, and yes, I mean, Sonya Deville basically tried to jump Ronda Rousey, and then Charlotte responded back, and Adam Pearce, well, he caught the eye of it and said, you know what, because of your actions, next week, Sonya, you're going to go one-on-one with Ronda Rousey, and Sonya is not happy about it, but you know what, Sonya? Your abuse of power has come back and bit you in the ass once before, and unfortunately, you did it again. And now you got to face Rousey again this time, and I think one of your arms could be in some serious danger, and I don't think anybody's going to feel sorry for you when she breaks your arm again. So nothing more to say. Fletch, let's move right along.
All right, and it was the first fight of the evening, as it was the New Day. Big E and Kofi Kingston, they were going up against Los Lotharios, Angel Garza, and Alberto Carrillo. And it was the New Day. Kofi and Big E winning the match in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Anthony Floyo, it's yours.
Another great match here, 3 to 3.25 stars for this. While this was a solid tag team match, WWE continues to put these matches on without any hype. It would have been interesting to see Angel and Humberto to pull off a surprise win in this rivalry, but instead, New Day remains the dominant force in the tag team division. Since Los Lotharios will only keep losing and the matches have not had enough variety, these two should be split up immediately for the sake of their momentum. Los Lotharios could be an interesting pair to go after the tag title soon, but the time is clearly not yet. So, really all there is to say on that. We always poo-poo about repetitiveness and whatnot, but this is the rare good kind of repetitiveness. I mean, we've already seen. This is the third time we've seen these two teams battle it out. Classic case of rubber match in the whole 9 yards, and exactly what we got here. And all three matches were solid to good to great, and this one was no exception. So 3 to 3.25 stars. New Day come out on top. So Michael Bullock, good kind of repetitiveness here, as we don't mind seeing these two teams go at it, but later in the show we'll address the repetitiveness that we always rip on.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. But like you said, this is the kind of repetitiveness that I actually don't mind, because if we've gotten 3 good matches between these two teams, and this one here was no exception. So 3.25 here, and yeah, so there's really nothing more to say to it. So Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, 3.25, and there's really nothing more to say. So we'll just move right on along. Next up, we had Xia Li versus Natalya. Xia Li wins the match in 4 minutes. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
And I believe, Fletch, I think this is her first official match on Smackdown.
It was, yeah, her SmackDown debut.
Yeah, I mean, it was short, but it was good to finally see Xia Li get her first ever match on SmackDown. I mean, I thought because this was Natalya, I thought maybe this match could have gone a little longer with these two. But you know what? I'll give it about maybe 1.5 for it. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say except Fletch. I mean, you're our SmackDown guy. I mean, what do you think of Xia Li in her first match on your Blue brand?
Impressive debut, very good match, very well done. It could have been better, but I think at the end of the day they did really well. So I really got nothing bad to say about it. It was solid for what it was worth. It was good. About maybe 2.5 stars. Xia Li still got a little work to do. But to go up against a veteran like Natalya, I mean, that's a pretty good first match to have, and looked very well with it. So Xia Li, welcome to SmackDown, and bigger and better things hopefully to come. So nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
2 stars for me. It took over 4 months, but Xia Li finally made her SmackDown debut. The crowd was flat throughout, which did not help a match that was fairly one note. Natalya has always been good enough to allow someone to look good, but she needs a great opponent to push her. The Protector did her job here, but she's just not the type of performer yet that can elevate her opponents. She will need to work with some of the best in the women's division to test her. For now, she got the win she needed. So, solid 2 stars for me. So with that, let's continue on.
All right, with that said, we do indeed move on. Next up was Sami Zayn. There was a lot on that one. It was a good angle, but I'd rather not talk about it. Sasha Banks versus Shotzi 1-on-1. Sasha Banks wins the match in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Then we had some Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss stuff that led to a rematch from the Elimination Chamber. Madcap Moss versus Drew McIntyre. McIntyre wins in 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Obviously, we already know what's going to happen. It's gonna be Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin at WrestleMania, or Happy Corbin at WrestleMania. Does it really deserve it? No, not really, but it is what it is. we're not going to talk about it. We'll just go right into the main event segment, which was Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman interrupted by Brock Lesnar. This was really good. Segment of the night. Obviously, the star power, the hype is there. Everybody is all ready for WrestleMania. And oh, by the way, confirmed earlier today, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, headlining night 2 of WrestleMania. And yes, guys, it will be indeed title for title. Winner takes everything. The WWE and Universal titles are on the line. So, good segment to close the show. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
The pacing of SmackDown, I don't know if it was just me, but I kind of felt that the pacing of this show was awkward all night. But this was especially strange, as there were 2 commercial breaks during this main event segment. Brock Lesnar did not come out until there was less than 10 minutes left in the show. Once Lesnar got started, this went as expected. The Beast Incarnate had fun playing the Heyman role on the mic before getting in an easy workout, throwing around some Gestapo security guards. Roman Reigns played confident while clearly frazzled. The storytelling is simple beyond the repetitive need to hype the greatness of this match. WWE has often felt the need to tell people how to feel, hyping this match beyond what it can deliver, labeling a match that already happened twice at WrestleMania at 31 and 34, and even 4 months ago at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia as the biggest WrestleMania match of all time will not make it so. But yeah, I mean, I would say by default, this was the segment of the night. And I mean, there isn't much more to say. I mean, Michael Bullock, I mean, what do we always say during contract signings, and especially for those Gestapo security guards?
It doesn't end well.
And you're damn right. It's yours.
And it definitely did not end well here. I mean, this was a good segment here to close it out. I mean, hyping this match. Of course, obviously, we've already seen these 2 go at it, especially at WrestleManias 31 and 34, and previously at Crown Jewel. But this is where, this is for all the marbles. As you said, it's title for title, winner take all. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I mean, it's going to go down as the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say except, Fletch, let's get into our overall thoughts and then AEW Rampage.
Florio, you lead off.
Pacing of the show was awkward all night. I could probably give this maybe about 5.5 to 6 out of 10. I mean, we had a great match with we had a solidly good match with the New Day and the Los Lotharios, and everything else after that was, just meh, to be honest with you. A couple good segments here and there. We also, started planting the seeds for Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville, because Johnny Knoxville showed up tonight. But I got a good feeling about next week's show in one of MF's favorite cities, that being Miami, Florida, at the American Airlines Arena. There's no question about it. You got 3 big matches, and you got 2 championship matches. So hopefully all 3 of those matches will deliver in one way or another. You got Ronda Rousey going up against Sonya Deville. You got the Usos finally defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championship against the Viking Raiders. And then you got Sami Zayn in his first defense of the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And he's going to do it against the man MF calls half man, half amazing, that being the one and only Ricochet. So what I am honestly hoping for is I would love to see Johnny Knoxville show up and screw Sami Zayn out of the title, give the title to Ricochet, because he damn sure deserves it, and he would bring way more prestige to that title than Lame Duck Man, and then you can have Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville in a regular match at WrestleMania. I'm totally okay with that, but it does not need the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. It doesn't. But knowing WWE, and with our luck, it's probably going to be for that title anyway, and then we'll get their version of David Arquette all over again. So I pray that doesn't happen, but with our luck, it probably will. So we'll wait and see. But anyways, 5.5 to 6 for me. So not much more to say. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, 5.5 to 6 for me. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't anything that good. I mean, you had a couple of good segments. The fight of the night to me, obviously, was the tag team match with Big E and Kofi Kingston against Los Lotharios. I really hope with this match next week with Sami Zayn and Ricochet I hope and pray that they do put the Intercontinental title on Ricochet, and then that way you can have Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania in a regular one-on-one match, which I would be okay with. But like you said, Florio, with our luck, I think it's going to be for the title. And then this whole repetitiveness with Drew McIntyre and Madcap Moss. We have seen this before. We have seen this before, and why do we have to see it again? Seriously.
Really?
And now it's looking like Drew McIntyre against Happy Corbin at Mania. Ugh.
Now that's the biggest match. Now that's the biggest match in WrestleMania history, right there.
Right.
Said no one.
I knew you were going to say that there, Florio, but like I said it before in the recap of Elimination Chamber. 2 years ago, Drew McIntyre won the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar in his crowning moment. Yes, it was in the Performance Center. And then last year, him and Bobby Lashley had a good match for the WWE Championship. And now you get him against Happy Corbin? I'm sorry, but to me, Drew McIntyre deserves way better than this. I understand you're trying to keep him away from the title, and hopefully someday he'll once again get a shot at it, but any other superstar but Happy Corbin. That's all I'll say. 5.5 to 6. Fletch, quickly, let's get to you, and then it's on to Rampage.
Yeah, I'll give it about a 6. It was all right, but nothing too special. We're gonna go right into Rampage. We started off with the TNT title, Sammy Guevara versus Andrade El Idolo. It was, when it was all said and done, it was Sammy Guevara successfully defending the title. Look, good match, solid fight. I'll probably say 3 stars for the opener. Sammy continues to run it. Andrade's got to get some wins at some point, man. I don't know what is going on. I'm starting to get a little worried that, I don't see a payoff for Andrade El Idolo right now. He came in red hot into AEW, but all of a sudden, he's had a couple of good matches, couple of good fights, but no significant wins yet. And I'm starting to fear that is he about to get lost in the shuffle in AEW? With all these guys coming in, I don't know. I'm starting to worry, Anthony. Andrade had a great match, but he hasn't gotten a signature win yet. Not in AEW.
How long was this match? What was the time of it?
12 minutes and 12:25.
12:25. All right. I'll give this about 3.25, teetering on 3.5. I could probably go as far as to call it the fight of the night. Giving these guys as much time as possible by skipping entrances was smart because they used every second to make this a fun, exciting match. It had a little bit of everything. They started with some simple wrestling, escalated to high flying and power moves, and unloaded on each other with strikes whenever they had the chance. Even with a few people at ringside, it never felt like the interference was excessive. They kept the action in the ring, and it helped make this one of the best matches of the week for any promotion. So this was about 3.25 to 3.5 for me. And I have an interesting thought on tonight's show, which I'll share at the end. But for right now, 3.25, 3.5. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.25, 3.5. I mean, it was a good match. Obviously, Sammy Guevara continues to roll as the TNT champion, but I'm with you, Fletch, and I'm starting to worry about Andrade El Idolo. I mean, when he debuted in AEW, he debuted red hot, but yeah, he's had some good matches, but he hasn't had any signature wins, and to me, that's a little worrisome. I mean, I think he could be on the verge of being lost in the shuffle, and I mean, come on, this is AEW, this isn't WWE, for goodness sakes. I mean, Andrade, I mean, he was literally lost in the shuffle in WWE. I mean, and there's a chance that could be the case in AEW. I mean, come on. If this was WWE, okay, I mean, it's understandable, but AEW? No, I think that's a little worrisome, so that's really nothing more for me to say on it, so Fletch, it is yours.
All right, next thing that we had here on the show, was Nick Camarillo going up against Wardlow. Wardlow wins the match in 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Anthony Florio, the one thing that we've been loving is that Powerbomb Symphony that he's been doing, but all of a sudden, Sean Spears is basically telling Wardlow, dude, you gotta stop doing the symphony, man. Just finish the guy. You could wrap this up in a quicker order. And I don't know, Anthony. You can see the look on Wardlow's face is I think he's starting to get a little pissed off at Sean Spears. It's only a matter of time before he starts to face. He might be singing the Powerbomb Symphony very soon.
I hear a symphony. I mean, Diana Ross and the Supremes sang it best. And yeah, we hear a Powerbomb Symphony. And I think I hear one for Sean Spears in the coming future. There's no question about that. It's only a matter of time before Wardlow snaps. And he's going to turn face. The crowd is going to pop. I mean, because he is over with the fans right now. The fans absolutely love him. And it's only a matter of time before he turns on Sean Spears and eventually turns on MJF. I could probably see that going down maybe at Double or Nothing Memorial Day weekend in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. So a big honor for them. But anyways, as far as this is concerned, 2.5 for me. Using the picture-in-picture option to continue showing matches during commercials is great, but a match should have most of its action take place during the break. It's fine for the live crowd, but it's not ideal for those watching at home. Other than that, this was a nice display of two powerhouses showing off what brought them to the table. With more time, they probably could have put on quite the show. So I'll give it 2.5 for now. But there isn't much more to say except, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, yeah, this is a 2.5 for me. I mean, yeah, you could just tell that with the way Sean Spears has been with Wardlow, you could just see the look that he is really getting pissed off, and he wants to literally beat the you-know-what out of Sean Spears. And it's only a matter of time before before Wardlow turns on him and basically turns face and turns on Sean Spears and eventually MJF. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Like you said, Florio, it could happen at Double or Nothing, or it could be sooner. You never know. We'll have to wait and see. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, it is yours.
All right. Yeah, you're absolutely right with everything you guys have said. So we're just gonna move right on along. Then we had Serena Deeb versus Kayla Sparks. Serena Deeb wins the match in 2 minutes and 27 seconds. We're just gonna move right on along. Then we had a promo segment. This was a contract signing between Dr. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa for their title match. Then leads us to the main event of the evening. Orange Cassidy versus Anthony Bowens, one-on-one in a face of a Revolution ladder match qualifier. And it is Orange Cassidy advancing in 10 minutes and 17 seconds. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
A 3-star match for me. I mean, this was a fine match to close the show. I mean, yeah, now Orange Cassidy, he moves on to the face of the Revolution ladder match. And of course, like you said, the winner of that will get a future shot at the TNT title. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say except, Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, solid match, 3 stars. I'll give you that. There's really nothing more to add here. So, yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
Bowens, Caster, and Cassidy provided quite a few laughs before the action got started, but once the match was underway, they were all business. Caster gets a lot of attention because he is the more vocal member of his duo, but Bowens may have established himself as the superior wrestler at this point. He has the look, size, and athleticism to have a good match with anybody. This was a decent match with some good spots, but Sammy Guevara versus Andrade El Idolo should have been the main event. As a whole, a solid edition of Rampage, if a little predictable. So I'll get more into that in a little bit. But 3, maybe 3.25 at best. Second best fight of the night for me. So let's get into the overall review.
7.5 for me overall. I thought they did a good job. I think it was a solid show. Like you said, I think they could have gone a little more better. I think the way the booking went, I agree with that. I think the TNT title should have been the main event. I think they should have done some other different things here, but it was fine. I don't think it was good, but not overly great. I mean, should have been a lot more stronger, but at the end of the day, 7.5. Anthony, go.
Yeah, 7.5 for me. Like I said, solid episode of Rampage, if a little predictable. It kind of felt like I was watching an old Coliseum video show because, you know, they edited a lot of stuff out. I mean, they edited out the entrances and, you know, they crammed a lot into that hour. And I mean, it was a heavily edited show. You could tell this was a taped show. Next week, though, that ain't going to be a taped show. It's going to be a live show from the site of Revolution. And we'll preview that pay-per-view next week on this show. So, little spoiler alert there. But Andrade and Guevara fight of the night. Main event, second best fight of the night. The Be a Man fight was a solid 2.5. And then the worst fight of the night, obviously, Serena Deeb, even though I love Serena Deeb. You guys know my love affair with that one. Not just for her beauty, but also for her wrestling ability. And I think she's doing the best work of her career, especially with these Professor 5-minute challenges. So 7.5 for me. Bullet taken home.
Yeah, 7 to 7.5 for me as well. I mean, there's some things that could have been better, but I thought overall this was a good show. So there's nothing more to say except let's put a bow on it.
All right, and we will indeed put a bow on it. All right, guys. So Monday night is another edition of Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio, and it's the usual. So we're gonna have that going on Monday night. Of course, Wednesday Night Mayhem. We don't know what's gonna happen with Strictly Sports right now. We might be on a hiatus until the NFL draft. We don't know just yet.
It'll be a one. I think it'll be a 1 week hiatus. MF. I think the following week, maybe I could see us maybe coming back to get into the conference tournaments.
Absolutely, and then of course the week after that is the NCAA. So we'll definitely be a little more deeper into that. because right now we don't know the future of baseball, and there hasn't been any major news that has breaking out just yet. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. So if we do, then we'll do it, but we'll wait and see how that plays out. So until then, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you on Monday for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. I'm Michael Fletcher. So long for now, everybody.